Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you a lesson from my days of practicing martial arts. So from age 5 to age 13, I practiced a style of martial arts called Kempo, which I believe is a more traditional style of martial arts. It's focused in self-defense, and it focuses on fundamental basics such as blocking, kicking, punching. Now I'm not sure exactly why this is, but I had a memory pop into my head earlier today when I was at the gym. It was from one of my first years of studying martial arts. I was probably a white belt or a yellow belt, and there was a tournament locally near my dojo. The tournament was open to students of all experience levels, all ages, and so my teacher, my Shihan, asked if anyone wanted to go. And I said, yeah, that sounds like fun. I'd love to go to a tournament. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was The Karate Kid. Not the newer one, the older one with Ralph Macchio and Billy Zabka. So I thought, yeah, of course I want to enter a tournament. Now the tournament itself was a form tournament, not a direct one-on-one fighting tournament. In a form tournament, you display a series of movements all strung together in a sort of routine. And that was one of the things that we would practice during class. It was actually the thing that typically people would look forward to the most, because you would progress or learn a new part of a form, and then signifying that you had finished that form or you had perfected it enough would mean that you would get invited to test for the next belt up. So forms were always something that were very exciting. So being that I was a white belt or a yellow belt, whatever I was, I knew one of the very simple basic forms. There were only a couple different kinds of blocks and punches. I don't even think there were any kicks in the form. And so when I showed up to the tournament and I saw that there were a lot of people who were my age doing these really complex forms with flying kicks and all these advanced techniques, I was like, what the heck, Shihan? How can I possibly beat all these people? So I ended up doing the tournament, and I think I didn't place, so I ended up getting like a really big participation trophy because there wasn't that many people at the tournament. And I remember feeling kind of disappointed, like, oh, I got screwed over. I only knew this basic form, so there was no way I was ever gonna win. And I'm a little fuzzy on the details. I don't remember exactly if it was before the tournament or after the tournament that this happened, but I remember my Shihan saying, well, actually, it's more about the mastery of the form than the form itself. And so she had one of the more advanced belts, I think probably a certain degree black belt, get up there and demonstrate for us one of the pinyons or one of the katas, which is a name for a form, one of the very first ones that you learn. And I just remember watching this individual perform the form with such precision, immaculate technique. And then our Shihan told us that they had actually won their division or their class using that form. And that kind of opened my eyes, like, wow, you don't need to have any sort of magical routine or technique. You just need to be able to refine and really hone your craft. And when I thought of this memory today, and I don't exactly remember again how it came up, I was like, oh wow, this applies so much to bodybuilding. And I've talked about this before, how bodybuilding, or really any pursuit that you have, is often a container for lessons that are broadly applicable to so many different things in life. And martial arts was definitely one of those things for me for many years. So in bodybuilding, the immediate parallel I saw to this was how people tend to focus on what's optimal, and they try to look for these really advanced training techniques, the perfect amount of volume, frequency, intensity, what's the best exercise for chest or quads or whatever it might be, looking for this perfect solution, this perfect program. And in reality, they often get really caught up in the weeds. They're focusing on things that are way too complex for where they're at, and they would be much better served just practicing the basics and getting really, really good at them. So that could be barbells and dumbbells, it could be machines, it could be cables. It doesn't really matter the implement that you're using, but what matters is that you're not overcomplicating your process and you're not getting really bogged down in the details and worrying about a million different things at once. You're picking a couple things to focus on and you're getting really good at those things. There's no paralysis by analysis going on. You understand that it's going to take time. There's no program hopping. You choose something, you get really good at it, you stick with it, and there you go. And you see really advanced bodybuilders, elite pro natural bodybuilders, who have been doing the same thing for many, many years, and you watch how they execute a movement, and it's flawless. It's perfected. And it doesn't have to be anything super fancy. They've really mastered the basics. They've gotten so good at them. And again, it's kind of a parallel to those forms. They found what was really basic and they mastered it. They got extremely proficient at their technique. They make everything look crisp, they make it look refined, and honestly, they make it look beautiful to watch. So that was just a random memory that turned into a lesson, that turned into an analogy / comparison. If you enjoyed this and you want to know more about maybe some parallels that I see between martial arts and strength training, there's plenty. I actually pulled out my black belt from my 8 years of training from age 5 to 13. It has my name and everything embroidered on it. As you might be able to tell, I'm exploring a lot of different styles of content and styles of video. So I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments and what you're enjoying. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.